Python is the go-to language for machine learning and artificial intelligence. Most of the APIs which relates to LLM and their applications are tailored and optimized for Python. One of the limitation, or should I say drawback of Python, is that there is no proper easy to use performant web UI enabled. So for example, if you build a generative AI application in Python, in PyTorch, or in any other framework, then you have to use any other language like React or Next, and there are various other options to build a nice, easy, performant, scalable, customizable web interface. But we have a new project which is called as Reflex. This is a new form or an optimized version of Pinecone, which is the former name of Reflex. Reflex is quite performant, customizable option to build web apps purely in Python. It helps you build full stack web apps entirely in Python, eliminating the need to learn JavaScript. You can deploy these with a single command, and I will also show you that shortly, or you can even host them on your own server. Another cool feature of Reflex is that you can do real-time interface updates and it will reflect immediately. It also integrates with APIs like OpenAI for various generative AI functionalities. You can also seamlessly streamline both front and backend development in one language, which is Python. Having said that, let me take you to my VS Code window where we will see how to go about it. The first step which you need to do is to make sure that you have installed a Reflex on your local system. This is my local Windows system. I already have installed Reflex. So just do pip install Reflex and it will get installed. Then because we will be using OpenAI, so make sure that you have exported OpenAI's API key, which is a paid option. If you don't have it, just go to platform.openai.com, just put $10 in your account and you should be able to play around with this. Now let me walk you through the code first. There are two broad components of Reflex. One is the backend and the other one is the front end. Let's go a little bit down and let me first explain what exactly this index function is doing. If you look at this index function, this is primarily the UI, the user interface. This index function defines the front end of the application, and Reflex uses different components such as center, vstack, input, and button to build the front end. Components can be nested within each other to create complex layouts, and you can use keyword arcs to style them with the full power of cascading style sheets. Reflex already comes with 60 plus built-in components, by the way, to help you get started, and it is evolving pretty rapidly. So this is what this index is doing, all about user interface. And towards the end, we are simply initializing the Reflex app and then adding the page. And by the way, what this is doing, this is just accepting a prompt and creating an image by using OpenAI's Delhi model, as you can see here. Now let's go up and look at this state. When you so the state defines all the variable which are called as vars in an app that can change that functions that changes them. So here in this example, the state is composed of a prompt and image URL. There are also the booleans processing and complete variables to indicate when to show the circular progress and images. Then we have event handlers within that state that is a function that change the state variables. Event handlers are the way that can modify the state in Reflex. They can be called in response to user actions such as clicking a button or typing in a text box. These actions are called as event. Now this application, our which is shown on the screen, has an event handler, as you can see, get underscore image, to which get this image from the OpenAI's API. Using yield in the middle of an event handler will cause the UI to update. Otherwise, the UI will update at the end of event handler. So this is what we are doing. And as I said earlier, towards the end, we are simply defining our app and then we add a page from the root of the app to the index component. And we also add a title that will show up in the page preview browser tab. Now, in order to get started, you just create the single file of Python, put it in a separate directory, and I assume you already have set your OpenAI API key by this, and then you have already installed the Reflex. So go to that directory where this file is present, and then from there, first thing you would need to do is to initialize this Reflex, and that primarily just settles all variable and your web application template, and then from there you can simply run it. So let me first initialize it, and the command is fairly simple. All you need to do is to run this reflex in it, and it is going to initialize a template app in your new directory. So let me run it quickly. It's taking a bit of a time, so let's wait for it to finish. While initializing, it is asking me which template to use. I'm just going to go with the default one. So let me press enter here. And it is initializing the app, and it has already initialized it. On the left hand side, you will see that it has created all the web template. So this is all we needed to do in order to initialize it. And then you can run this in the development mode by simply doing reflex run. And then it is going to run that application on your local system at the local host at port 3000. So let me run this, and then I will take you to my browser where we will see it. And you can ignore this warning for now. Let's wait for it to install. And it will take various minutes, and it will extract and download a lot of packages and resolve the dependencies. Wait for it to finish. Now you can see that it is saying that our app is running. So let's go to the browser and check it out. And you might also, receive a pop-up where the Windows firewall might ask you to allow it. If that happens, just allow the access. And there you go. You can see that my app is running on my local system, and then you can just start building it. Whatever you will put in terms of UI in this my app.py, it is going to reflect here immediately. You can also select a theme from the right hand side, and there are a lot of options around appearance for light, dark. If you select the dark one, you select the light one, and then you can also check out the solid or translucent, up to you. And then you can of course select a lot of colors from the top, so it is pretty customizable as I said earlier. So as soon as I have updated my application, it has started this Delhi application on my local host. So in order to update the application, all you need to do is to simply put all of your code in that VS Code environment in this myapp.py, and it is going to update it. So that is all there is to it. Fairly easy. So for example, if you go to your browser and simply say any text prompt like a llama, it is, and then click on generate image, it is going to generate the image by using Delhi. So you see that that is the circular sign which we also gave it in our application. And there you go, your llama is there. How good is that? So we have just built a UI on top of our Python application. Within Python, we don't have to use any other language. So that is the power of Reflex. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or thoughts, please let me know. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I will drop the link to Reflex in video description. And if you have already subscribed, please share it among your network as it helps a lot. Thanks for watching.